About a month ago, I uploaded a speedrun of Catfruit Buffet for the insane Catfruit stages. In this run, I used Saber, an uber rare unit from the fake collab. This collab only appeared twice in 2019 and 2023, so not many people have this unit. Since Saber serves an important role for the green stage and helps for some of the other stages, a few people in the comments asked for alternatives to Saber. At first, I did a brief glance of some units that could work in the comments, but I wanted a more comprehensive list for alternatives. The past week, I made a list of all the units that could potentially work for replacements, mainly from just looking at the Battlecats wiki. However, through my testing, I learned that you can actually clear every stage in Catfruit Buffet if you remove Saber and only use the remaining units from the lineup. It turns out the Hayabusa and Courier Cat can deal with the Owl Bros well enough in the green stage, while Yukimura and Bahamut perform well enough to clear the purple stage. The other stages don't rely on Saber as much compared to the green and purple stage, since Yukimura and Bahamut do all the work. This means that the 10th unit can be any unit you want to use. I compared the total time for the first 5 stages between the two lineups, one with Saber and one with an open spot. I excluded the last stage, Catfruit Jubilee, because of the variance with critting the Metal Hippo and the randomness of the boss shockwave with the core respawning. The lineup I used for the test mainly matches the loadout I used in my speedrun. Can has double bounty, max attack, and max speed talents, while Yukimura has no talents at all. I made a document listing my testing process and results if any of you want more info. For the lineup with Saber, the stages took a total of 168.46 seconds, while the lineup without Saber took a total of 175.70 seconds. That's a time difference of 7.25 seconds for the first 5 stages, which can be mostly seen in the green, purple, and blue stages. Saber doesn't influence the results of the red and yellow stages as much, since she can only be sent after the main threat of the respective stages have been beaten. That being said, there's a lot more flexibility with the open spot in the lineup, so what are some good options? Units like Kalisa, Thunderjack, and Fishman can help destroy the bosses or the base faster. Long-range units such as D'Artagnan and Phono can work, but make sure they have a decent movement speed, mainly for the green stage, since that's the biggest time save. Combo units like Manakee Cat and Manic Lion could help, but most of them don't have a significant impact since you're pretty limited on what combos you have available. I'll have a list of the units that could help in the comments, but I mostly did a brief glance over them since it would take too long to compare each unit based on their clear times, especially because of the variance in each stage. However, I am willing to upload a video with your lineup in the comments like how I made comments in the speedrun video if you want to optimize your Catfruit Buffet runs. Before we end the video, there's a few things I want to talk about. The first is a visual for using Yukimura for the purple stage if you don't have Saber. You still send Bullet Train at 1300 cash, but after you send Bullet Train and hit the Doge Dark, send 4 Manic Erasers as a timer. Shortly after your 4th Manic Eraser, Bullet Train will hit the base, triggering the boss Shockwave. Immediately after, send Yukimura so it can snipe the Shadow Boxer K. You can then send Bahamut with the cash you got, and then the rest of your other units, which will eventually clear the stage. If you mess up on timing, you'll lose a few seconds, but it's not that big of a deal. The second thing is the different timings for the yellow stage if your Can is level 58 or above and has double bounty, max attack, and max speed talents. Since Can can one-shot the Heavenly Hippo under these conditions, you can send Bahamut immediately and then use Bullet Train to snipe the Gabriel after the boss Shockwave, allowing Bahamut to always hit the Angelic Gory the first time. Bahamut or Can will finish off the Angelic Gory, which will give you cash to send Yukimura in your cheaper units. With extra levels and the required talents, you avoid the rare possibility of Bahamut missing the first hit against the Angelic Gory since Bullet Train snipes the Gabriel that causes this issue. If you want to optimize this stage even further, send the Manic Eraser at around 550 cash right after you sent Can for the first time. If done properly, Can will almost always hit the Angelic Gory first, allowing you to get a double bounty kill for your other units while Bahamut gets a clean hit on the Heavenly Hippo. Lastly, there's a lot of variance in the last stage, Catfruit Jubilee. Apart from the Metal Hippo crit RNG, the boss Shockwave with the Quarry can also vary a lot. I hadn't found a way to consistently destroy the base before the core respawns, so there's not much I can think of for optimizing that stage, especially since the guaranteed critical hit units for the 10th slot have their own flaws. With that, these are all the things that I wanted to mention for the video. With the discoveries I made, it means that if you are missing Saber and one of the other 2 Ubers, players, you'll need to adjust your lineup slightly so that you don't get curb stomped by the Bun-Buns in the green and purple stage. Again, I will help in the comments if you want to optimize your Catfruit Buffet runs, but as a reminder, this rushing lineup is mainly for people who unlocked Uncanny Legends, since most units are level 50. If you're still limited to level 40s, you'll have a harder time replicating the strategy unless you have Saber. But that's everything. I hope all of you had a great experience during the holidays, and I wish everyone a happy new year.